Hi, and welcome to the Live Edge Lumber Girl Show. This episode of the Live Edge Lumber Girl Show comes to you from Tegs Tools, with 2 locations to serve you in Hamilton, one at 1104 Barton Street East, and in the mountain at 1361 Rymel Road East, your go-to store for hard-to-find tools and machinery. This maker has utilized modern technology into her woodworking. Meet Ashley Moore of Farmhouse598. Yes, I'm so excited, and thank you for just jumping in and saying that you were totally up for an interview, considering that I just read that you're a bit of an introvert.
I am a little bit, yeah.
You'd never know it by your website.
People are like super surprised because when I'm in my element, I'm loud and I come from a big family, so like that part of me comes out. But then like when I'm done this, I'm gonna go like put my earphones in and hide in the shop for like 3 days.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, I was looking over your website, and wow, how long have you? I saw that you like something like a third or fourth generation woodworker and all that. Yeah, yeah. So tell me about how that all started. Like, what's the background?
Okay, so I started in 2015, and I kind of was like peddling off all of the decor that I made for Ethan and I's wedding, and like making stuff for that. And I've always been crafty. I've always been that kid that was like, put me with the crayons and the like in preschool, and like I've just always been that kid. So um and my parents are entrepreneurs, so like I never really felt go find a job anywhere else. I've just always like, how can I make my own money rather than making somebody else money? So it's just kind of
Exactly.
bred into me. Ethan and I met actually at a wood show.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like we're like a royal family of woodworking because
Yes, it's
we've got
awesome.
a little history. But yeah, so I started with my glue gun and crafts, and then when I got the laser, I kind of turned it towards more woodworking based items, and I've kind of found like a little niche market here where I'm at, and I capitalized on that as much as humanly possible. So
Right on. Okay. Well, anyways, I have a bunch of stuff here to ask
yeah,
you about. Okay. So you work with a scroll saw.
I don't. I do.
Oh, oh, do you laser cut all of those?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. That's
Mhm.
cool.
So Ethan, you interviewed him a few weeks ago.
Yes, yes.
Um, Ethan from Stockroom Supply is my husband, so I have a whole arsenal of woodworking tools at my disposal. And I get to basically, when the shop isn't busy, I get to use whatever I want. So I have my own little personal collection of tools, but then I have this giant showroom of that I
That's like you married the perfect man.
we've got a Hagner scroll saw that I can use. So I'm super lucky because I know that one's really high quality. I've got 2 CNCs and the 90-watt laser. I've got a giant table saw. Like I swear the table saw here at the shop, it wouldn't fit in my shop in the basement. Like it would take up the whole the whole room.
Oh my
So
God, that's my
I,
dream. So cool. Okay, so your laser, so I had a look at your website, and you're so organized, and your
oh,
products are so cool
thank
and fun. And tell me about the laser, because I don't know a lot about that for people who would be interested. How does that work? Like, do you?
So you have to have a decent knowledge on how to use some computer programs. So the laser, yeah, you need a little bit of computer knowledge. Luckily, my husband has been trained to sell these products, so he taught me how to use them. And so it's all digital, and then I put it into the laser, and basically with coding and magical computer wizardry, it knows what to do. So
Right.
there's a lot of work before I put the wood in the laser, with programming and stuff, and that does take some talent.
Yes.
So that it's been an evolution for me to learn what I can do with the laser.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot. So what material are you using? Are you using like an aircraft type plywood or?
1/8 inch Baltic birch.
Yes.
That's I've got a good stock of that. I can buy it locally from a small business here in Niagara, so I've got a good stock of that. I use 1/4 inch Baltic birch, just not nearly as often. And then I use a lot of 1/2 inch for like anything plywood that I put in the laser. But all of my teething toys, all of the rainbow stackers, the blocks, all of that is maple.
That's maple. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So tell me about the Montessori toys. How did you get into that and learn how to what to be making? Are you doing Montessori teaching yourself?
So I went to school to be an early childhood educator, and I took a couple extra courses. So with the ECE, to be a Montessori teacher, you need to go to a special school in Toronto, in Ontario, to complete your schooling. And I opted out of doing that. Just right at about that time, I lived in Niagara, or Ethan lived in Niagara, and I lived in Ottawa. So we were like in the process
Oh.
together. So I didn't really want to go back to school. Um, so I did not take any education further with my Montessori. But when I first moved to Niagara, I actually opened and ran my own childcare center out of our home. Yeah. So I know all the regulations, I know all the laws, all of that fun jazz.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So do you have like what's your clientele like for that? Do you have like schools approaching you, or is it more moms that are coming to you saying, I wanna
This year has been crazy because a lot of moms
okay.
have their kids home. Um,
Yes.
Expanded, rather than doing like decor, I've added a lot more educational tools. So like matching ABC uppercase and lowercase, like flip laser engraved circles, and mathematic things, and like anything that I could help moms homeschool with. That's what I was trying to do. So yeah, definitely moms are
Yeah.
they're hell.
Yeah. Yeah. So they've been reaching out to you a lot. That's really good for your
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because I find that even though a lot of small businesses are struggling right now, that the woodworker businesses are actually holding up pretty good because of situations like that, you know,
yeah,
where your product has suddenly become high demand.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. You know what I wanted to ask you about was your what's going on with the tacos?
I love tacos. I mean, who doesn't like tacos, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
I like go way back to the story here. So Ethan and I met at a wood show near Ottawa.
Yes.
I was 16. So I fell in love with him madly, and I knew that he was going to be the guy that I was going to marry. So flash forward to when I moved to Niagara. And Ethan used to do a lot of wood shows with his business. So he would go to different wood shows and travel all through the States and in Canada and sell his tools. So we were looking at different wedding dates, and I had to look around NASCAR season, horse season, and show season to pick our wedding date. So we finally fell like the end of August. And then Ethan says, "Oh, by the way, the weekend after we get married, I have a wood show in Texas, in Waco, Texas." And this was before Waco was a cool place to go. This is like when I told people I was going to Waco, Texas, they were like, "Don't join a cult."
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
Yeah. So we we honeymooned in Waco, Texas.
Okay.
Cool. Um, so we did Austin and San Antonio. We kind of just like slowly made our way down through Texas from Waco. And we just ate at like really sketchy barbecue joints and taco stands and like places where it was like, probably a bad idea. But like I fell in love with a really, really good taco. I love tacos. It's something that we make at least twice a week. We make really good Mexican food. And last night we had barbacoa actually. So
Okay, right on.
it's Tuesday. Gotta have tacos.
Yes.
I don't know. It reminds me of Texas. It reminds me of our honeymoon and how we met, and it's just sentimental to me.
I saw on your website that you have a taco seasoning recipe.
Yep,
So do
make
you
my own.
have yeah, so you make your own. Okay, right on. I've never done that before. And so your rainbow stacker, those are so cute. And then you do them also the little
Thank
pictures that you mount, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you
So I
cutting those with the laser?
the signs I cut with the laser. If they're laser engraved, obviously I use the laser. Anything 3D, I use the laser. But the rainbow stackers, going back to Ethan, we are a team through and through. After I had Anderson, our son, he's 3, I was back in the shop. My C-section wasn't healed yet, but like I wanted to like woodwork. So I made him come with me, and my mother-in-law watched her son. And I'm like, I do something. So then Ethan started getting involved in using his idea brain, is what I call it, because I'll say, hey, can you do this? And he'll say, oh, but like if I make this jig, it'll be so much quicker. So the simple circle cutter that he developed came from that. I was getting him to cut all my plywood circles because that was like easy work I could shoo off onto him. And then I'm like, hey, if it's spinning, then I could do a rainbow stacker.
Okay.
And I asked lots of times if I could make them, and I kind of keep a list in my phone of like products that I get asked for that I don't currently offer. And it just I cut them on the bandsaw with the simple circle cutter. So we plane the wood, sand it, mount it, and then do all the rings.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those are really cute and fun. Definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So were you, before COVID, were you doing shows? Like, were you doing shows alongside with Ethan, or like of your own products?
Yeah, so different shows, because a lot of the people that go to his kind of shows are woodworkers, right? So they often go like, oh, I can make that. So
yes,
I started at craft shows, but because my stuff was so custom when I had attended those, like it was really hard to market appropriately because people that are going to the craft shows want to leave with product. So I did it. I made some great connections, and I love going to shows now. As somebody who's got some money to spend, marketing for me is better on social media.
Okay. So you're doing all of your marketing through like your website, Instagram, Facebook.
I'm attempting that the one with the dances, but I feel like I'm too old for that.
But you mean TikTok?
TikTok, that one.
Yeah. Someone told me I need to be on TikTok too, and I'm like, okay. I have a 16-year-old daughter, so I could probably figure it out.
Like 20 minutes to make one video, and I'm like, you know what? This is where my business brain kicked in. 20 minutes to make one video. How many orders am I going to get from that to justify the time that it would take?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's for me either. It's like, yeah, I spend enough time on Instagram. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I love. I love Instagram. I can't believe what it has become for our woodworking community. It's just
and that's
mind blowing. Like
yeah.
how it connects all of us and gives us all a chance to share our knowledge and support each other. Like I just posted this morning, when you're trying to restore a cookie full of cracks, the challenge is real, because I found out, you think you have it all sealed up and it looks good, and you go to bed and you wake up in the morning, and I fared pretty well. I didn't lose that much epoxy, maybe like just a cup or so of epoxy. So, but now I'm back to the drawing board. How am I going to seal this thing?
I don't do epoxy, but I do like Starbond for like the little things that I do. Starbond works. So
okay, yes. How do you use that?
So it's glue that you put in, and then you spray an accelerator on it, and then you can sand it off. So it just fills small voids. So if I've got a cracked plywood or like a divot in the maple that I'm painting, I can kind of fill it in, and then like it's better for like minor imperfections. So
yeah, okay, I see. And that's the Starbond product.
Yeah,
like a fast dry.
Yeah,
a 2-part.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I'm using one like that from Acfix. So is it also for adhering then?
So all of my gluing, that's what I use is Starbond. So because it's also water and weather resistant.
Are you making outdoor signs as well?
Love making outdoor signs. My most recent one was 14 feet.
Wow.
So challenge of a big sign.
Yeah. Was that on your Instagram?
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So And so what materials did you use for an outdoor sign then?
So, like using cedar for the backer, because cedar is
Okay.
the best wood that you can use for exterior. And then it kind of depends on the purpose. I can use cedar for the letters, but I prefer to use like a plastic, but it kind of depends on the budget that I'm working with for the client. So
Okay. Okay. So is that like a signboard type plastic?
yeah,
Okay.
again, place locally that I can source it. So and then I cut those letters on the CNC.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then you use the Starbond to adhere it.
Yeah, Starbond and then some screws and some
Some
caps.
screws. Okay. So you'll glue it and then you'll also put like
Yeah,
screws through it and then fill them or whatever you need to do.
yeah.
Okay, I see, I see. And so are you painting those signs as well?
Yeah, so again, it really depends. So I can order the plastic in different colors. Um,
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of my more recent signs have been like very minimal, like just a wood backer with the letters. So that's super simple. But the one I did last summer, she wanted a barn board look for the wood. So I bought the cedar and I made a really fun tool. There's actually an Instagram IGTV story saved if you wanted to go back and
Okay. Yeah.
and somebody said it looked like a thing from The Walking Dead. I just put a whole bunch of screws in it. So I scraped the cedar, um,
Yes.
plan or seen it, and then I made it look like barn board. So it had the longevity of cedar, but not the price necessarily
Yeah.
of sourcing good quality barn board in 14-foot chunks. So
Yes. Yes. Okay. And so that can be found in your stories, like in your highlighted stories.
yeah, on my IGTV. So
Oh, on your IGTV. Okay, okay. That's good for the listeners to know where
yeah,
to go if they wanted to see that because
yeah.
that sounds pretty amazing.
You got to use two different kinds of stain. You got to get the brown and the gray in there. So
Okay, yes, okay, okay, right on. So what is this product, this multicolored product that you're talking about, the plastic?
I don't have a ton of knowledge in it.
Yeah, yeah,
I leave that to the pros. I kind of say like this is what I'm making, and I know that I need the exterior grade plastic,
yeah,
uh, usually like an acrylic. And then they tell me like, oh, I've got it in this color and that color, and again, because they're local, I
yeah.
can go pick out the colors and match. So
Right, right. Okay, okay.
mhm.
Um, okay, right on. So it's kind of like a sign maker's product then.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, okay, right on. So what else have you done like that's really like off the wall? Like, okay, so you made cedar look like barn board. Have you done anything else like that?
like I'm not afraid to try anything. Like I'll just if somebody has an idea, I'm a little bit more hesitant now with my time. Like I'm aware now that I've got Anderson and I'm paying for daycare, I need to
Yeah.
like with my time. But like a lot of the things that I've tried, like maybe not even so much for like business, but for home stuff. We bought a 100-year-old cottage and we've been fixing that up. So I really try and use my knowledge for my business at home too. So
Yeah.
I've gutted and we've totally finished and made our bathroom look really pretty. uh,
Okay.
our new subfloor, like all of that. And then I just kind of take what I know from my business and I can apply it to like making home decor.
Yeah. Yeah. For your own home.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Yeah,
Hmm.
because you know what you like and you know how to make it. So right on, right on.
Like, hey dad. So
Oh, yes. Okay. So you
yeah,
can always have family backup.
yeah, they live near Ottawa in Brockville. So not a whole lot of people know where that is, but it's
Yeah.
close to Ottawa.
Yeah.
And they are cabinet makers and they are a team as well. So they work together.
Okay. Okay. So that's your mom and dad.
Yeah, that's my mom and dad.
Okay. What's the name of their company?
They're Seabrook Woodworking.
Seabrook Woodworking. I do know where Brockville is
Okay,
actually.
yeah,
It's just on
that's
the way up to Ottawa.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right on the river, right? So your mom and dad are in Brockville. They're running a cabinet business.
Yeah,
What did you say the name of it was again?
Seabrook Woodworking.
Seabrook Woodworking.
Hmm.
I feel like I met them at a show. Did they ever go to the woodworking machine and supply expo?
So my dad worked for a business in Brockville that had giant CNCs. So he would go, but then like when he first started, he was doing like a side hustle. So it's very possible that you've
Okay.
met.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. So was anybody else in your family? Like obviously you have a big family. Are there other woodworkers?
Yeah. So like I said, I'm fourth generation. So my
Yeah.
grandpa, he makes wooden lathe, turned lamps on
Yes.
his lathe. And everybody else kind of putters away. My dad and myself are the only ones that are doing this for their livelihood.
Yeah.
Uh, and then my mom's father ran a greenhouse during the summer and spring months, and then in the winter would switch to woodworking. So that,
Okay. So
yeah,
your family's just full of entrepreneurs.
Ethan's family is also full of entrepreneurs. So I kind of went through, and I think out of all of my aunts and uncles, only about 10 of them, and that's like, so like I have 20 on each side,
Yes.
about 10 of them work for somebody else. Everybody
Okay.
else is an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think that that's sort of the direction that we're going, like ever since factories started shutting down and all that, and
Mhm.
everybody's got to figure out some way to make a decent living, right? And why
Yeah.
not be an entrepreneur? It's awesome. You get to
Yeah.
be your own boss. Like nobody's looking over your shoulder. You make
Yeah.
all of your own decisions. Sometimes there's bad stuff about that too, of course. But I
Yeah.
mean, like, um, I'm never going back to working for
No,
anybody. I'll be kicking and screaming if I have to. Like, there's always a way. And I think that, um, well, especially with COVID, I think that people have started to realize that buying local and supporting smaller businesses is so important.
I know a really good friend of mine, actually, a sign that I had made for her building,
Yes.
they're closing up
Yeah.
because it's just too hard to maintain with all the new import regulations that they need to do to get their items into Canada. It's just mathematically it doesn't make sense to continue the business.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Yeah. I saw somebody post, they said, so if there's going to be a second wave, we should ask that Walmart close and all these bigger companies and let the small businesses stay open to support the communities. You know,
yeah,
that totally makes sense. To me, that totally makes sense.
yeah.
Give the small businesses a chance. Yeah. So what is a type 631?
It's my Enneagram number.
What's an Enneagram?
You can test and it tells you like what your personality is.
Oh, and it's
Uh,
called an Enneagram.
yeah.
Okay. So you can
So
Google it. I
yeah,
can Google it.
yeah.
Okay.
I think it took me like 15 minutes to do the test the first time, but I've done it like 3 or 4 times since then. I'm super into like personal growth and development and going to therapy, and
Yeah.
so like, oh, I can find out more about me. Sure.
Okay. Right on. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a people pleaser, and I'm super organized and I like things clean.
I noticed that your website totally says that about you.
Oh
The
well,
way
thank
the way it's all set up and everything, and then your blog is like, very informative and outgoing. Like I could your personality totally comes right through.
well, thank you. This website myself, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's right on. Good, good. An IG prop. What was that? What do you mean IG prop?
It's just a laser engraved disc, so it's made out of wood, and I put it
Yeah.
in my laser. And I have some cool functions on my website where you can totally customize, like you can write all the fonts and everything that you like. Um,
Okay.
I burn it onto the piece of wood so it can say like the name. I have milestones, so if you want to document like the growth of your baby through the first year, so like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So you can get different so that when they take the picture, the little signs there that says
yeah.
something about that milestone. Okay, that's really a good idea. That's really good idea. I did that on paper actually when I was but that was years ago when my daughter was growing up. I,
Because I think I did Anderson's 1 month picture at like 6 weeks. So it was like 2 weeks late. And then I was like, I'm not doing this again in 2 weeks. I
right,
don't when I see
right.
pictures like look at the date. I'm like, thank goodness for that now, right? Like Facebook memories. It's like, okay, so he was
Yeah.
approximately that old at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right on. So, are you are you doing any work with Ethan? Like, do you actually work with him, or you're real busy with your own thing and
Yeah.
and
So
being a
I
mom?
like to say I work alongside Ethan. So I'm at the
Okay.
and I use the laser during the day if the laser is not busy for his work.
Yeah.
Um, and I come in at night. So I feel like I'm constantly around him or talking to him,
Yeah.
or like I'm sitting at his desk to do my computer work,
Yeah.
but I don't do any work for Stockroom.
Okay.
Just as any wife would help a small business with their
Yeah.
family, right? But yeah, I don't actually work for Stockroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, so listen, can you tell us where where people can connect with you? Is it
Yeah,
what's your Instagram handle?
at Farmhouse598.
Okay, right on. And do you have a Facebook page?
Yep. So it's the same thing. So facebook.com/farmhouse598.
Right.
And my website is farmhouse598.com.
Where did 598 come from?
So that is our house number.
Oh, Farmhouse 598. Okay, that
Yeah.
totally makes sense.
Uh, at one point we had a goat and a pig, but right now we've just got chickens and quails and some ducks. So it's not just a style for me,
Yeah.
it's a lifestyle.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Okay. Well, listen, I think that we've covered a lot of bases, and I'm so thankful that you took the time to sit down with me and talk.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed watching, be sure to click like and subscribe and hit the notifications bell to stay in the loop. If you have any questions, or if you would like to be featured on the Live Edge Lumber Girl show, leave a comment below. Until next time.